All right, so this came to me the other day. It's about knowing what you're worth when you're charging for a client or something like that. I had a buddy who, like, you know, I was good friends with, or I am still good friends with him. He needed help on a project. We were doing a house. He's a real estate agent, and he wanted help on a video and some photos for a home he was doing. Naturally, you know, you ask your buddies, hey, can you help me out? You know, can you do it, you know, cheaper than if you went to someone else, you know? So I gave him a price. We did photos and a video. The guy, the owner of the house had a barn, a house, like it was a, you know, multi-million-dollar house, big property. We did aerials. You know, we were there for a while, but so we charged $500. I let him know, you know, this is, you know, I brought two people in with me to help, and you know, you might think $500 is a lot, but at the end of the day, it's really not, especially if you have two people. And, you know, we gave him, I mean, his house was huge, but we gave him, I think he had like 98 photos at the end of it of exterior, interior, his barn, all of that. And then I made a video with aerials and like an interior and exterior, like walkthrough and all that. But so I made one video, sent it back. He loved it. The homeowner was like, huh, I want it to be a little longer. Can you make another one? And I'm just sitting there like, come on. Like, after a while, you know, if you watch a video that's too long, you just get bored of it. But whatever, it's, you know, the homeowner wanted it. So I went back and made, it was like a 4 or 5 minute video of just, you know, walking, of just looking at the rooms and things like that. I was like, it's so boring, but it's what he wanted. So I ended up making another video, sent it over. He loved it. And that was it. So the homeowner actually owns a business. They do like woodwork for, you know, big companies, like building like tables and their interiors for whatever it is. But so the homeowner is completely retiring. They're selling their house. They're selling their business. And so a couple months down the road, talking to the real estate guy, my buddy, he was like, hey, can you get those guys to do another video and photos of my business? I want to put it on the market and sell it. So he hits me up. He's like, hey, same treatment, $500. He wants us to do his business and you know, sell that. And I hit him back and I was like, you know, I can do it, but I can't do it for that price. At the end of it, I think I only made like $150, $100 because I'm splitting it with two other people. And it's just like, and I did it as a favor. You know, this guy has been a long friend of mine, and I did it as like, here, I'm going to help you out, you know, but that's what people don't understand is like when you do something like that, they expect it every time. And it's like, they don't understand that I didn't really make any, like that was not a waste of time for me, but it wasn't worth my time. I just did it because, you know, he's a friend. And that's what they don't understand. It's like, you know, you go to another company to try to get that job done, you're going to be paying a lot of money. And it's like, and I would, you know, I gave him a quote. I think we were going to do it again. And I think I said like $800 because I told him, I was like, I can't do that again. I didn't make a lot of money on it. That was just, you know, a one-time thing to help you out. And so I'm going to have to raise the price. And he goes, okay, shoot me a number. And I said $800 to do the business and all that. And he's just like, well, that's a little high. And then I said, well, we can do the video, just video, no photos, for $600. And then he was just like, no, I just can't do that. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm sorry, I can't help you out. So you got to realize, you know, what you're worth. I mean, obviously if you don't have jobs going on and this is something to do, it's like, you know, by all means go do it. But at some point you got to say to your friends and your, you know, people that aren't meaning to use you, but you know, they don't understand that you still have bills you have to pay. You still have, you know, equipment if you're financing it or whatever, like you have to pay off, things like that. It's like, you got to know what you're worth. You got to know, you know, at some point you got to let them know, like, hey, I can't do this for free. Hey, I can't do this for this cheap. Like that was a couple, you know, one-time thing or whatever it might be. But yeah, so I just want to make this video and let people know, like, know what you're worth. You know, it's doing things for free. I do it all the time. I I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because to me, it's all about connections. I haven't put out one business card. I haven't put out one anything. I haven't promoted myself at all. And I've gotten all my work through word of mouth. It's getting to know people and doing things for people will get you better and bigger jobs, and it will get you more jobs. Because if they like what you do, they'll go tell their buddies, and so on and so forth. So I did a couple like high-end things for people who own, you know, they had some money, and you know, I did things for them fairly, like gave them a, you know, good discount, and they loved it and told their buddies, and then they told their buddies, and like I kept getting phone calls like, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do this for me? This guy referred you. And I'm like, absolutely. So getting connections and doing things like that is just as good as getting paid. You know what I mean? Like just as good as getting paid almost, because you're getting to that next job and you're getting more work and you're getting more, you know, material that you can show clients, and that's huge. And the thing is too, like when you hook that buddy up or that one person up and they go tell their friends, it's like, oh, well then, you know, you charge them what you would have charged. So it's like you're making up for that with the other clients that they referred you to. But yeah, I mean, doing work for free is not a bad thing, but you do have to realize, you know, when you can do it for free and when you can't do it for free, or when it's worth it and when it's not worth it. And this job I did was just not worth my time doing it for free, or doing it for that cheap. Just because it's so much work to get, you know, bring other people in and do it. It just wasn't worth my time. So one of the best things I would say too, when you're asking for money, because this is one of the toughest questions to ask, you know, when you send a quote, you don't want to scare them off, or when you give them a price, you don't want it to be too low, too high. But so what I usually do is just like, what's your budget? What are you working with? And then I go from there, because then that's them, you know, opening the door to the price. And, you know, say they say, oh, well, we have, you know, $1,500 that we can spend. If you go up to $2,000, that's, you know, another $500 for a company. It's not, or even, you know, $1,800, you throw in a couple $100 extra. That's not going to scare them off, because them saying $1,500, they probably had a little bit more anyways to spend. So, you know, it's opening the door, letting them, you know, say the price or say what they have, you know, is the best. And then you can work with either, you know, you can work with it or you can't work with it, you know. You can either be like, oh, well, you know, we do a lot more. Or it could work out in your favor, because you could be like, oh, well, we were going to charge them $500 and now they said they can do $1,000. So letting them say the price and do that, to me, is much better. It's not as uncomfortable. We did a job. Actually, another buddy hit me up, girl, and she was like, she works at a car dealership, and she was like, this is a expensive car dealership. The guy, she was like, oh yeah, you know, my boss wants a video, he wants a little commercial, can you come do it? And I'm like, sure, we'll give you a quote of, you know, what we'll charge. And I think, what did we say? It might have been like $1,500 in the beginning, or $1,000, something not that much for a high-end car commercial. And she hits me back and she's like, yeah, I don't know, it's a little too high. My boss said if you do this one, you know, he has 6 other dealerships that you guys can get work from. And do you know how many times I've heard that before? Oh, you do this, you know, I got so much more work for you after that. And then you don't hear from him again. It's like, I'm talking to a high-end car dealership. If you don't have money to pay for commercial, or like, you know what I mean? Like you're looking for video work, you're looking for a little commercial, and you don't have money to pay for that, what am I, you know, I'm wasting my time. So he pretty much, the owner of it wanted it for a couple $100 or free, and I'm good with that. You know, granted, it could have, you know, we do a great job, you know, it could have got us some more work, but it's like, I don't want to deal with those kind of people that are completely going to use me and just not even pay or anything, and then me hoping we get more work from that. So it's like, sometimes that's good, you know, you do something for someone, they can do something for you. But usually when they say, oh, we have more jobs for you, well, it's like, well, pay me for this one and then we can talk about, you know, the other jobs. Because when they say that, usually it's just like, oh, well, it's probably not going to fall through. You know, they just want a quick video to see what happens, and that's it. But yeah, so hope that helped. All right, later.